Hi everyone, and welcome to a new video on the Geekanoids channel. In today's video I'm bringing you my full review of this really cool smartphone. This is the Honor View 10. Now this is a real surprise to me because for the price point I wasn't expecting too much, but the build quality on this is absolutely amazing. Now if you've watched my reviews of smartphones previously, I try not to go into the specifications too much, purely because this is all about user experience, and that's what really matters when you buy a new smartphone. But I know some of you like the specifications. They are available online. I've left a link in the video description area to the Honor website where you can check out the specs for yourself. But some of the main specifications here are 6 GB of RAM, 128 GB of storage. We've also got a 3750 mAh battery, really fast charging, and I mean super fast charging. We've also got a 13 megapixel front facing camera, and on the back we have got dual cameras, 20 megapixels and 16 megapixels. We've also got an 18:9 format display with a nice high resolution, and we've got Android version 8 straight out of the box. Now we have got the EMUI overlay, so Honor's take on their sort of version of Android, which is an acquired taste, and I'll come on to that very shortly. But for all intents and purposes, this is a very nicely made smartphone. Very good quality. The screen is gorgeous, and I love this blue colour. I've really grown attached to how this actually feels in the hand. We've also got a fingerprint sensor down bottom, volume on this side, power button which has got a little tiny pattern on it, little tiny sort of pattern on there. We've also got something to note, 3.5mm audio jack and USB-C on the bottom, and the speaker of course, and then the SIM tray is on this side here. So that's all I'm really going to talk to you about with regard to specifications. If you want to check out the full specs, then of course please do check out the link down in the video description area. So how have I been finding this over the past week? In fact, a little bit longer than a week, because I've been using this over the sort of Christmas and New Year period, and I've been finding it really good, apart from one thing which I'll come on to in a short while. The camera performance, absolutely brilliant. Here is some of the photos I've been taking with it. So we've got a photo here in the editing room. It came out extremely nicely. A little bit noisier than some smartphone cameras, so low light is probably not as good, but certainly the detail is very nice indeed. And also what I like about the camera on the View 10, or the Honor 10 View I should say, is that it actually has really nice tonality to the photos. We've seen with other smartphone manufacturers that the saturation on colours are often overhyped, they're really pumped up, don't look natural at all. And then we saw the Pixel 2 and Pixel 2 XL, certainly for the screen but also for the photos, some people were saying, well, they look a little bit muted. Well, that's natural colours, and a lot of people nowadays are used to seeing these oversaturated photos. This produces a really nice tonality and what you would expect to see in a really good photo. This one here, again, another good example of really good colours. This is what I see with the naked eye, and I'm seeing the same on screen. Haven't tried printing any out, but on screen they're looking very good indeed. Now with regards to actual performance, this has been running so smoothly. It's a really nice experience. No noticeable lag or slowdown. Can't tell whether that's going to be the same over time, but it should be good. Manufacturers are getting really good at keeping the performance up over the longevity of your device. So no noticeable slowdown. All of the apps I've been running have been running absolutely fine. I've been doing a bit of Instagram on here, a bit of surfing, a bit of email, etc., and it all runs brilliantly. Battery life also very good. That 3750 mAh battery keeps this running easily all day for medium to heavy use. If you're a light to medium user, you'll probably get a day and a half, 2 days between charges. The form factor, we've got this really tall screen, slight curves to the edges but not overly done. Really nice colour saturation, really nice viewing angles, and overall the device just feels really nice in the hand. It's a nice sort of hold, nice curve to these edges. It fits nice and comfortably. I would have liked to have seen a fingerprint sensor here. It's just my preferred position now for the fingerprint sensor. Front facing camera as well, really good. So overall, a really very nice experience. Now, I mentioned to you that there was something I didn't like, and that is the flavour of Android. So we've got Android 8 underlying, and we've got this EMUI version 8 over the top. I just don't like it. I think the only thing I do like on this particular sort of user interface is the way they've done the actual settings. Let me just put that brightness down a little bit. So the settings is very good indeed. I like the way they've done that. So good job on the actual settings front. Very good indeed. But the rest of the UI, it's something about it. I think it might be the shape of the icons. It feels a little bit cartoony, a little bit too simple perhaps. Doesn't utilise the space as much as I'd like it to, and doesn't add anything to the experience. I'd much rather have a stock Android experience rather than EMUI 8 over the top. And in fact, one of you viewers actually in a previous video, I think it was either a comment during the live broadcast or after the event, said, wouldn't it be nice when you started up an Android phone if the manufacturer actually gave you a choice? And I'm not just referring to this phone, I'm referring to all phones that run Google Android. If you were actually given the choice at boot up, do you want stock Android or do you want our flavour of Android, i.e. TouchWiz, EMUI, and whatever other sort of overlay you're going to be presented with? It would be really nice if a manufacturer took the brave step and gave us the choice at the time of setup whether you want their user interface or stock Android. That would be absolutely amazing. But anyway, I digress. That's probably the only thing I didn't like about this phone was the EMUI 8 user interface. It was just something about it didn't gel well with me at all. So overall, a really nice device and a superb price point for this sort of build quality, this sort of specifications. Let me give you a close-up look at that again. It's really nicely made. The fit and finish on all of the seams, no noticeable flex, very thin as well. It just feels like a quality device. When you are normally spending this sort of mid-range money, you wouldn't get these sort of specifications and you would never get this sort of build quality. But with this particular phone, the Honor 10 View, very impressive indeed. Very impressed. So anyway, as always, if you're watching this live, I always say a big hello to the first 4 of you who tuned in live and commented in the live chat. We have got S Baggins, JFK4NZ, Ahmed and also Anton. Thank you very much for tuning in. A big thank you, the first 4 in the live chat, but also a big thank you to all of you who've tuned in live. If you're watching this after the live event, please do leave me a comment. But during the live broadcast, you can interact with me, leave me a live chat, or you can use the super chat feature as well. So we've got a few questions in the chat. We've got Ahmed asking, is the battery life good? Yeah, I did touch on this very briefly. 3750 milliamp hour battery. Really fast charging on this as well via USB-C. No wireless charging, metal back, but very fast via the cable. And the battery life really good. I'm what I would say a medium to heavy user on my devices, especially when I'm testing them, because I'm recording video, taking photos, installing apps, etc. And this lasts easily a full day between charges. And as I mentioned earlier as well, if you're a light to medium user, you'd probably eke out 2 days between charges if you're lucky, but a day and a half definitely. So really good battery life. Good morning to Raymond and also to JTech, thanks for tuning in. Pro Copy Australia 1, nice idea about the Android setup. We have to use the telco version, which is a tad bloatware. Yeah, I think it's a really good idea. If there's any Android smartphone manufacturers, including of course Honor or Huawei, please do take note. Take the step. It's a brave move. Give us the choice when we start up our devices to actually choose whether we want stock Android or your version of Android. Hugo is asking, how's the headphone jack output quality and loudness? It is very good indeed. Loudness perfectly loud enough for my ears anyway. I know that's subjective, but it goes plenty loud enough and it drives my earphones and headphones extremely well. That's via obviously the wired connection. We can connect via Bluetooth of course as well. So very good. Raymond Moore, how is the camera quality? As I mentioned earlier, the tonal quality of the pictures is top notch. The detail top notch. The low light, not quite so good. I would have liked to have seen better low light performance, but it's acceptable. It's not bad. It's just in comparison to some smartphones that maybe you use larger pixels on the sensor, it doesn't gather quite as much light, and in really low light situations things get a little bit noisy. But good light outdoors during the daytime, or artificial light like I've got here in the editing room, it produces really good photographs. Very, very nice indeed. Ashish is asking, camera OnePlus 5T versus Honor V10, which one is better? Well, the Honor, if you're referring to this, the Honor View 10 here, then I would probably say the OnePlus 5T just edges it very, very slightly in dynamic range and low light capability, but there's hardly anything in it between the two. And also we have got a question here from Harry K. In comparison to the OnePlus 5T, what do you think? It's a very close call. Very close call, because there's very similar specifications, very similar price points. I would probably go with which version of Android you maybe like the best. You know, or which overlay. I know you can put a different launcher on, but I would probably, if it was my money, I'd probably still go towards the OnePlus 5T. And I know a lot of people who do videos on YouTube, a lot of reviewers, don't sort of say those sorts of things in videos. They tend to say, oh, this is fantastic, definitely buy this. If it was my money, I probably would still buy the OnePlus 5T, but it would be a very difficult choice, purely because I really prefer the actual design of this, and the actual build quality of the hardware I think is really nice on this. I think that's better than the OnePlus 5T. The cameras, as I say, slight edge to the OnePlus 5T, and the user experience slight edge to the OnePlus 5T. But this is a really good proposition. I'd be really pleased. The front-facing camera on this, in fact, if you're into your selfies, is better than the OnePlus 5T. So this does better selfies. What's your favourite feature of the V10? Asks JTech HD. I think my favourite feature, well, not really a feature, but my favourite thing about it is just how it feels in the hand, the actual build quality. It's a really nice phone at a really good price point. Very, very good choice if you want something as your first Android phone. Flagship type specifications without flagship money. You'll be really surprised if you buy this. Years and years ago, when you used to buy phones from these sort of lesser known then, not now, these are main players now with Huawei and Honor phones, but 2-3 years ago, you maybe wouldn't expect quite so much. Now these are getting really good. They're doing a fantastic job. They've really stepped up their game, and they're one of the main players now, main smartphone manufacturers. So if you buy a Huawei phone or an Honor, then you're not going to be disappointed, not at all. So anyway, that is pretty much it for my review of the Honor View 10, a really solid smartphone contender with great specifications. Do check out those links, by the way, in the video description area. You can pick up all your accessories on one of my links, or indeed have a look at the Honor website for the full specs. This is full of really good technology, including artificial intelligence, and the cameras do perform extremely well, very, very well indeed. And the screen, let me just touch on the screen a little bit more. The viewing angles on this screen are really good. No colour shift or anything. Nice resolution, nice crisp detail on the screen. Nice saturation as well. Not overly done. A little bit sort of on the curve of being more saturated than some smartphones, but not oversaturated. And it just looks extremely nice. And the colour, wow, this electric blue. It's more of a metallic electric blue on the front, round the bezels, and on the back. We've got some nice sort of curve to it, and like a satin finish on the back as well. Feels very, very nice. So a really good choice. As I said before, if you're looking for a flagship level smartphone but without the flagship prices, then the Honor View 10 is well worth checking out. So that is it for my review. Thank you very much to everyone who's tuned in to the live broadcast, and thank you if you're watching this video after the live event, then please do leave me a comment. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. I publish a new tech video pretty much every single day. Have a fantastic day, everyone. I'll see you all in the next one.